Now, if we move to our middle of the road student, our middle of the road student this time made a little bit of a math mistake going from their grams to their moles. And this is again a simple example of this, but this may be a student that maybe made a bunch of math mistakes all in a row. That this is something that many graders would be able to identify as being incorrect, point that out. But a lot of times, if you're if you have TAs or graders working on this at scale, this may not get quality feedback. This may be something where because TAs have a big workload on them, sometimes that gets a very fast incorrect and just mark it wrong and move on. But with our AI grader, we're able to first identify that they did do some dimensional analysis, even though they didn't do it fully correct. They did do dimensional analysis, that their numbers were consistent, again, the 3.27 from up above, but they did it wrong. And in this case, the AI is actually able to show that they indicated multiplication by the molar mass, whereas the correct step was actually doing the division of the mass by the molar mass. So it gives that level of intricate detail that a lot of students may need because they're kind of lost with the calculations, especially if this is a whole page assignment, 5, 6 calculations in a row. They may not completely understand where they went wrong.
I love
Nicholas,
And
this
that
example, Nicholas, because I think for any of you on this call who maybe manage labs, people doing the grading are probably graduate assistants or TAs, maybe even undergrads. And I think this is a really good example of something that they may have overlooked and given full credit because it really does take a very thoughtful look back at their previous work, look at their justification. So I think this is a great example if you want to get that detailed that just kind of blows my mind that it can not only read their handwriting, but it can reference work beforehand.
and I think
and
that
going
there's one thing here that's really special to point out, and I know that this is a math example, this is a chemistry example, but take a step back, reflect on whatever subject you are in, and think about the problems that you would want to be solved through this. In particular, where it comes to I want to give some credit, but not all of credit. I want to grade the process, not the endpoint. For the past, I think of a question like this, it's all or nothing, right? You make the calculation, you get the answer, and then students come back to you and say, well, I got so close. And in your heart, you want to reward that student, right? You want to reward that student, but it would be unfair to give one student credit and 399 you say, sorry, you missed this. And so when you look at something like this, I got some messages on the side. I saw questions on organic structures, for example. Think about it. If you have it, those shouldn't necessarily be all or nothing. Maybe you missed a lone pair. Maybe you missed one detail on the angles and of a functional group, right? By breaking it down into these individual criteria and having in-depth feedback for each one, you really do get to reward the effort and provide a grade that makes sense to the student and gives them a true learning experience.